My wife Naomi and my brother do not get along, so imagine the nightmare when he has to come live with me just for a few weeks, and they're going at it. Guys, I didn't even last 2 weeks, I'm telling you, I didn't even last that long, I kicked him out. I'll get into what exactly happened, but now my parents are calling me up on the phone saying, "Hey buddy, we gave you that house as a wedding gift, and we can take it right back since our name's still on it." I didn't even know that, but little did I know my life is about to turn to hell, and it's all because of my wife, my brother, and my crazy parents. I just don't understand what kind of sins I've unknowingly committed to receive this kind of punishment. Well, I say that because for the past few months, life inside my home has been kind of hell. I don't mean to blame anybody, but I feel like even though I have such a nice and happy life, I can't really find peace inside my own home. Let me elaborate just a bit, right? I'm Neo, I'm 36, and I have a great job. And if you ignore the problem above, you will notice that I have a very happy life. I live with my beautiful wife, Naomi, a really cute son, Ben, and my younger brother, Greg. Obviously, my life is not all sunshine and rainbows, and I have problems, but most are minor, and we're doing pretty well financially, so I think it's fair to assume I do have a happy little life. The big problem in my life is actually something that's very common in everybody else's: drama. By drama, I mean family drama, the things that happen between relatives or siblings where they fight about stupid stuff, knowing they can't declare a winner. I did not know that there could be a loser in battle like these, but I am one. Every time a fight in my house breaks out, the only person that loses is me, and well, probably Ben. We lose our peace and happiness while others gain nothing. I don't like drama, and I moved out early in my life because I cannot take my parents fighting over stupid stuff. I understand that fights do happen in relationships and are not really something that can be avoided, but I've always learned that there are other ways of arguing. I learned that we could just speak to each other and settle our differences without causing each other problems. I've learned that if two people have love for each other, then they can fight and it can easily be solved. But that was not the case with my parents, and they probably never divorced because of me and my bro. But I still had to leave Greg with them because I could not take it. I knew that he could just handle drama a lot better than me. Genuinely, some days I wish that they would have got a divorce. I do. And at one point things got so bad that I was thinking of breaking my own parents up myself. This probably gives you an idea of how much I hate drama. So, after I built a life for myself, I got married to Naomi, because she was the most perfect person I have ever seen. And she definitely did not like arguing either. We developed a great system to avoid petty fights, and things were happily ever after, until, I'd say about last year. Yep. One day, my parents called me and told me that they were thinking of sending my brother to live with, me, since he was not able to find substantial stuff there. Guys, I live in a whole nother state. They really thought it would be better for my brother to move here. This probably gives you the idea that I live very, very far away from them, am I right? Wonder what could be the reason behind it? Oh, don't worry, I do visit them all the time. I still love them, and my little brother just can't handle their bickering. So this was because my brother had been in several, different jobs, but nothing was landing. And I imagine that he was probably taking it very hard on himself because he still lived with our parents and was dependent on them financially. I also sent him money from time to time, so I felt that it was appropriate for him just to try a different location. So I spoke with Naomi, who was a little skeptical because she wasn't a big fan of my brother. She always told me that because I had left early, my parents softened up Greg too much, and he got used to getting pampered like a little baby. When I discussed this with her, she said that it would do him better to live in a small room or share an apartment and struggle. This would teach him a lot about what life is actually like, and now this should have been a huge clue that they probably would not mix well. But I never even registered it in my head. Do you know why? Well, obviously because I have a caveman brain. I love her, I love him, and they both love each other. But now I've learned that it's not how it works. Reluctantly, my wife agreed, believing that he actually needed our help, and that staying here would make him better. I also told her that we would not pamper him at all, and that he was going to learn to work here. My brother was very happy to move in, and for about a few months everything was A-OK. My brother, he was looking for a job and helped around whenever he was in the house. I had peace whenever I came home, and I and my son were enjoying that peace, not knowing that it wasn't going to last very long. Slowly, when my wife realized that Greg had gone to too many interviews to nail a job, she started to realize that he was just here to stay. I know this because I realized the same thing a few weeks ahead of her and had a conversation with Greg. Like I said, he does love me and I love him. So he spoke honestly like I had demanded. He said that he did join one but did not like the job and something in the other. He had about 10 different reasons for every job that he got. I explained to him that life is hard and he needs to focus, as doing this is not really going to help him. He told me that he intends to do that, but he needs a little more time to find a job that he would love to do. I knew that I was just enabling him to be lazy. But what can I say? I really do care about him and want him to do something he loves, because he has the luxury of waiting. So I did not tell my wife, but she realized nonetheless. And as soon as she complained to me, I told her that I spoke to him. Then as my brother got lazier, her complaints started increasing hand over hand. When she realized that I was actually protecting him, she stopped telling me and started taunting him. She didn't say anything too serious, she would just throw these typical jabs his way for not working, living rent-free. It was more like playful jokes. My brother just normally blew it off, but it started to annoy him. Well, how do I know? Because he started to tell me. Now, I had to stay fair and square and stay out of this because I did not want to get in between them. But about a month ago, things started getting serious. Naomi started slowly increasing the intensity of her jobs, and all these jabs left and right. My brother slowly started firing back. It was a boxing match. She would subtly hint that he should start looking after himself, and he would slowly hint that she was getting fat. Oh boy, did that send her over the deep end. It started taking more and more effort to stay out of the stuff, and when I had to take sides, I had to take crap from one person or the other. And, well, obviously, the one I didn't side with did not agree. If I agreed with my wife, my brother would get mad, and vice versa. As I explained earlier, the only person losing in this battle was me. But I still believed that it was fun and games until yesterday when crap hit the fan. So I was having breakfast and was about to leave for work. Greg finally woke up and came to the table. I finished eating and went to the kitchen to wash up and then to my room to grab my bag. Right as I was coming out, I heard bickering. It turns out Greg told Naomi that he did not want to eat this crap pancake for breakfast, which made her irate. So she told him to earn his own money, live in his own damn house, and buy his own damn breakfast, which made him so mad. He told her to shut the hell up and called her a fat cow, at which point she lost it. She told him that he was worse than a leech because he had no purpose in life, and her only wish was for him to either go off his lazy butt and get a job and leave this house and her family in peace. She said that the only thing holding him back was the support, and if it were for her, he would be sleeping outside. At which point Greg gets mad. Then he crossed the line, boy oh boy. He called her a characterless, spineless, worthless woman, and all sorts of other names of a wife who did not deserve a husband like me. He told her that she lived for free on my money, and that she was the one who needed to get out. Oh, I only heard part of it, so I came out seeing red and would have punched Greg if I had not seen my wife on the verge of tears. This kind of took my anger away. Immediately it was gone, and right then Greg realized what he had done. He could not look me in the eyes, and I asked him how dare he say this to her, and asked him to get the hell out of here for the day. He went out, and my wife cried for almost half an hour. She obviously immediately wanted him out and still does, and the decision is left up to me. Well, my brother has called and apologized, but only to me, and is coming home tonight. I told my wife that he would apologize to her, but she does not care about that because she knew that I would force him to do so. My brother is pleading that it was just a bad reaction due to his anger, and also because one of the things my wife said. He says that he's not going to apologize to my wife, but will never say anything of the sort to her from me. My wife just wants him out. What do? Do I kick my brother out for this when I know that he did not mean it? I know he made a horrible mistake, but kicking him out is a little harsh. I don't know what I'm going to do, but no matter what, he will have to apologize to my wife first, and then we'll see what happens, so please, guys, leave me a few suggestions on how I should resolve these issues. Update number 1. Hey guys, it's me. I'm here for the updates. It's been almost a week since the last post, and I just believed that I ended up making a mistake. But it was not like I had a choice either. If you remember my original post, the only thing I wanted was to maintain peace between my wife and my brother. But as soon as I realized that this was not an option, I saw many people judging me for not being mad at Greg for saying those horrible things to my wife, and you're wrong. See, I was really mad at him, and the only reason I asked him to go out was so that I would not break his face. When he called me, he genuinely apologized and explained that it was a stupid thing to say in a fit of rage. I also knew that he would never knowingly hurt her like that. I chose to believe that Greg did not intend to hurt her, and it was more like a bad reaction to the things that she said, which were also hurtful. As I already mentioned in my post, I had no intention of throwing my brother out of the house, as I truly believed that he had not done this just to hurt her. Naomi, on the other hand, was ready to reject the apology right then and there, which he was not even agreeing to give. Me and my son were the only ones left to deal with the fallout of this problem. So I spoke with my brother and made sure that he knew what not apologizing would mean. I asked him to apologize to my wife and beg for forgiveness, which he rejected. I then scolded him and made sure that he was going to apologize before he showed up at the house. Greg agreed to apologize, and I made sure that my wife would not kill him as soon as he showed up. He showed up late in the evening, and in front of me and my wife apologized to me for his behavior. My wife was still mad and was waiting to hear what he was going to say to her. Surprisingly, Greg apologized to Ben and told him that he should have been a better uncle to him. Then he started walking to his room. I just stopped him and asked, to do what he needed to do? He then refused to apologize to Naomi and said that he didn't care what she wanted from him. I couldn't believe that he was doing this to me after everything I've done, so I screamed at him to stop it. I told him I was going to give him 2 options. Either sincerely apologize to my wife or I have to throw him out of the house. Now, Greg knows me pretty well, but he somehow came to the conclusion that today was the day I started throwing out empty threats. He said that he was not going to apologize to the elephant, right there. Oh, and I lost it. I dragged him out of the house, threw out his stuff, and told him not to show up again. He waited for a few hours for me to change my mind, but left eventually. It's been a few days since that, and I've started to feel bad about it. I feel like I caused this by trying to make peace when I should have given them some time. Did I make a mistake by doing this? Also, somehow this news has not reached my parents yet, and when it does, it will not be very pretty. Update number 2. Hey guys, it's been almost 2 weeks, and things have gotten considerably worse, honestly. I never imagined that things could go this wrong. I know you guys are probably confused as to what happened. Well, in short, I was forced to do something that's made our lives way worse. Also, my brother has turned into a complete a-hole. So if you remember my last updates, I kicked my brother out and was feeling bad about it, but I do not feel bad anymore. Not at all. Let me break it down. I regret ever letting him into the house in the first place. But as you'll understand while reading this update, it looks like I actually did not have a choice in the first place. So a few days after my last post, I get a call from my parents, and obviously they had found out about what happened. Greg had not lied and told them the entire story from the front to the back, and they wanted me to take him in. I asked him if they had not understood the last parts where he refused to apologize to my wife, and they didn't care. They said that he did make a mistake and admitted it, and even got punished for it by getting kicked out. So, according to them, staying at his friend's place for a week was enough punishment, and I needed to take him in now. Now, I was not unreasonable with him, and told them that even though I wanted him home, he was being way too stubborn. I clearly explained to them that I could not let him in unless he apologized to Naomi, and forcing him in was going to hurt my marriage. I've always known that my parents are not as fond of my wife as I would like them to be, but I never expected them to so easily disregard her feelings. They said that I had to let him in and that my wife needed to adjust her behavior, and if she stayed quiet and did not complain, nothing would happen. I was so shocked and asked them how dare they say that about my wife. She wanted to help him and that they care, well, is the reason that she's so mad at him. Then my parents did something I never expected from them. They said that they were not asking, they were telling me to let Greg in. Well, I asked them what they would do if I didn't, and they said that either I would let him in or they would do it themselves. Yeah, meaning that they would force me and my family out and let him in. They can do it, because the house is technically still theirs. They kinda gave it to me when I got married, but I never really took complete ownership because I didn't care about owning the house. I wanted to make my own in a few years anyways, but I did not believe this was our house, and I didn't think it was a loan that they could just take back when they were mad. So I get upset, and I tell them that they're doing something unfair, and that they were taking back something that they gave to me. They said that Greg was being treated unfairly too, and they would never ask for anything else. They even apologized for forcing me, but that did not matter. Naomi was really mad but understood what had to be done. And for a few days ago, Greg made his return. It turns out he did not take my kicking out of him very well, and he was mad at me for choosing my wife over him. I told him that he was only here because our parents forced me, but that did not mean that he got to insult my wife. He said that I did not need to worry about that, and he completely cut both of us out. The only person he talks to is Ben, who is a child, but things have escalated to a whole new level of tension because my wife clearly doesn't want him here, and he's only here because she doesn't want him. My wife has asked me to kick him out any way possible, so what do? It feels like I'm living in an absolute war zone. I'm scared of a bomb that can drop at any time, causing mayhem. Please help me. Update number 3. Another week has passed, and you guys are not going to believe what my brother did. I've kicked him out of the house, and I'm ready to face any kind of consequences I get. Let me tell you what he did. Over the next few days, the situation remained the same, and I kept trying to think of a solution to all of this, but there was none. I could not kick my brother out, and neither could I move right now, so we were kind of stuck in a stalemate. It was not peaceful, but compared to the situation now, it was like a vacation. Yesterday, I had a mini heart attack when my wife called me right in the middle of the day, crying, and told me to come home as soon as possible. I can't explain to you how fast I drove. I almost didn't even remember it. That's how fast it was. I was worried that something big had happened between Greg and her, and what I learned when I reached there, gave me uncontrollable anger. My wife told me that she had gotten into another argument with Greg when he tried to take Ben out for the day, and she refused. They went for another round of hurtful comments, and this time she won. I don't know what she said, but I know she won because Greg got so mad that he slapped her and went to his room. She was crying and was scared for her and Ben's safety, and I could not believe it. I immediately burst through Greg's room like the police and punched him. He fell on the floor and I pulled him up, but he refused to look at me. I asked him why he would do this to her. But he was silent, so I dragged him, threw him out, and asked him to never ever come here again. Well, then I threw his stuff out again and consoled Ben and Naomi, and then I got busy. Surprise, surprise, my parents are calling, and this time I was happy to talk to them. I believed that they would understand this, but they outright refused to believe me. They asked if I saw what happened with my own eyes, and I said I knew what happened, and they said that I trust my wife too much. They believed that my wife lied about the slap because she wanted him out of the house and thought that they would buy it. They refused to believe that their younger son could do something like this, and asked my wife to apologize to him. Well, I declined and told them that I would rather leave the house than listen to another one of their stupid demands. Well, today they gave me a week to move out, and if I don't want to listen to them or provide some proof of the incident, now since proof isn't something I can just magically appear, we have to move out eventually. Right now, I just don't want to think about it, and I'm hoping that Greg is going to come clean, which is a stupid thing to hope for. Final updates. Hey guys, I just had to update you really badly. It's been a few days, but for the first time I do have good news. Well, no, I did not convince my parents out of sheer willpower and love, and neither did my brother confess. Also, they did not suddenly have a change of heart and started liking Naomi to the point where they believed me. The person who gave me proof was actually Ben. The accidental genius. I know it's confusing because a few days ago I told you he didn't see it. And it's true, he didn't, but his toys did. Oh yeah, one of them showed me what happened, and I know I probably sound like a madman, but this was the best way to explain it, so stay with me. A few months ago, Greg taught Ben how to cartwheel, and he's been practicing it ever since. He can only do it perfectly once in a blue moon. I mean, me too, but he's managed to show both Greg and Naomi his perfect cartwheel once each, but he's not been able to show me because of it. Well, he kept complaining and complaining that he needs to record it to show me. Now, this little boy cleverly used this opportunity to ask me for a phone, which I immediately declined because I don't have a phone when I was his age, and I grew up just fine. But he kept on going and annoying me, and I one day decided to get him something. I got him Ollie. Yeah, Ollie. See, Ollie is a bit of a special toy because he's also a recorder. He's a rabbit. The rabbit has kind of a cheap camera. It's like 720p. It works well enough to shoot my son's cartwheels, and it was super cheap on Temu. It also wears a doctor coat, and the camera leans, it looks like the button of the white coat. It's not really a hidden camera, but it's not necessarily obvious. So I taught my son how to use it without explaining too much. I just explained to start the button here and stop it here, and you just upload a little SD card and you can check it. The battery lasts for over 2 hours, and Ben stopped complaining, so I forgot about it until the very day of the update. So, I was racking my brain thinking I was going to do when I found Ollie lined up exactly in the place where Ben keeps it to record. It gave me an idea. At first I only wanted to trick my brother into telling the truth by lying about the footage, but life had other plans. When I asked when Ben last recorded anything, he said that he was recording when they were fighting. He saw my face light up like a light bulb, but he could not understand. I hugged him and called him a genius. So he was pretty happy, and I immediately took a look and found the footage. It had no sound and was not very clear, 720p, but I had what I needed. I called my parents, told them the truth, and sent them the video. They were devastated and could not believe it, but they had to. A few hours later, my brother called me begging to tell them that I lied because he was getting cut out of the family and offered to apologize to my wife. I told him he had gotten enough chances and his apology was too little, too late. He came later to the house, but I refused to even let him in. I told him I've had enough of him and that he needs to learn a lesson. Well, my parents cut him off and apologized to me, and I have no idea where Greg went off to. I just know that he's homeless, he's penniless, so it can't be that far. I feel bad for him, but unfortunately this time this is all I'm doing for him. He needs to get out of this himself. He did this to himself. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. And now hopefully I can live in peace.